What's up guys, it's Roger, and today we are back on the competitive PvP grind in our Blink to Ascendant series. Now you know we've been using these off-meta weapons, and today these aren't exactly off-meta. I mean, the submission is really solid, and honestly Insidious is too. Now these are weapons, and the theme today is obviously Vow of the Disciple. Ignore this, I didn't get that there, but I just really like it. Now I did Vow of the Disciple for the first time a few weeks ago before this season started. If you want to see that video, I'll have it linked on the end screen and in the top right. Go ahead, give that a watch after. It's a very entertaining time, and I think you'll definitely enjoy it. Now these weapons I haven't got to test because the new season started. There's been so many new weapons for me to give a try, so until today I didn't give these things a try, but I gotta tell you I'm quite a fan. Why don't we break down the roles in them really quick. Now the submission is a lightweight frame SMG, which are my favorite in the entire game. Lightweight frame weapons are going to give you plus 20 to your mobility and a 6.25% sprint speed bonus when you do have them equipped in your hand. Now you can see this one has polygonal rifling, accurized rounds, perpetual motion, thresh, and the origin trait of soul drinker here. Honestly, I think this is a pretty darn good roll. Put a stability masterwork on there and it's feeling quite good. When the perpetual motion is procced, this thing just feels like it's barely taking any flinch in the slightest, so you can beam your opponents quite well. It has a pretty good range stat at 39, basically 40 there, and most SMGs are going to sit around that range, but something like the funnel web for instance can get around 50 to 60, especially with rangefinder on it. It can feel really good, but I gotta say the range on this thing was still very solid from what I played with it today. Thresh is something that I'd rather have a different perk on, of course, if I can ever craft this thing, but I will say I was getting my super a little bit quicker when I was actually fragging out with this gun. Now for our long range primary, we're going to have the Insidious pulse rifle on. This thing has chamber compensator, appended mag, compulsive reloader, turnabout, and then of course soul drinker again. Now turnabout here, I never really noticed this that much, you know, you break a guardian shield and then you get no shield. I mean, that's fine, but it's not really what you want in this column, of course. But Compulsive Reloader, honestly, is a perk that I like quite a bit. It doesn't really help you when killing your enemies. You know, you're not going to kill them faster because of Compulsive Reloader. But if you take a few bursts on an enemy, and then you don't really get anything out of it, and you want to reload really quickly, this can be a very solid perk, so you can just re-engage into the next gunfight with a full mag, and not have to be worried about that. Reload speed masterwork, obviously not the greatest thing in the world. I could obviously have a way better version of this gun, but even with the roll that I have here, which is not the best thing in the world, at 74 range, like this thing felt very solid, and I'll talk about that more throughout the gameplay, but I gotta say I'm a very big fan of this gun, which is surprising because aggressive burst guns are usually not my go-to, but this one is quite nice. Go ahead, check out the mods if you are interested, of course running our astrocyte first, so we can get that plus 30 to our airborne effectiveness, keep our longer blinks with a lower blink cooldown, and keep our radar as we go through those blinks, just to help us when we get aggressive with our SMG here, which I do quite a bit today. I hope you guys enjoy the content. If you do, you want to leave me a like or subscribe at any point in the video, I'd very much appreciate that. Trials is coming up this weekend, and I'm going to be coming at you with as many Trials videos as I can get out, so I hope you're ready for that. And I'm also going to be doing the new raid in the next few days, so I should have a video together for that too, if you are interested, and then we'll make another video like this in comp using those new weapons, hopefully. All that being said, I think we're about ready to get into the gameplay. 1 second before we do though, Blink Enthusiast Clan, go ahead to the Destiny 2 mobile app or Bungie.net. You can join Blink Enthusiast, type that in, it is free to join. I'd love to have you. It's not a hardcore clan or anything, but if you don't have a clan that you are currently in and you want to just join this, just so you can have the little Blink logo next to your name and be a new friend of mine, I'd very much appreciate that. But all that being said, I think we're ready to get in this gameplay, so why don't we go ahead and blink on into it. Now this is my first match with these weapons, and I gotta say the first thing I noticed is I really like the reticle on these. They're very open reticles, you know, it's those little diamonds, and I like them a lot because you can just put the enemy's head right in the middle of them and sauce them up real quick. Now, I gotta say, these games today were pretty good. There were a few funky matches, of course. You're always gonna get that. And this was one that was a little funky. My teammates were kinda eating shrimp fried rice, and I am telling you that I shrimp fried this rice, but my teammates couldn't quite get that joke, so they were just kinda getting their cheeks sauced. I blink behind this guy, take him out, full void overshield, and we kill him there. Because of the echo that we do have on, gotta love that new fragment, definitely use it in my recommendation. Now I do have an orb on the ground there, so I want to pick that up if I can. If I get that, I'm going to get a surge on my kinetic and arc weapons. So either of my weapons is going to do more damage if I can pick that up. So what I do is I come behind cover here, right? I throw out my scatter nade to deter him a little bit and start taking shots. That scares him away, so he starts running to the left. I pick up the orb and start chasing as fast as I can with my blink. I take some shots on him here as soon as I come out of my blink, so I stop his healing right there. Now after that I reload, blink above his head, land on him, take some shots, punch him, and end the round right there. Nice little clutch up for me and my teammates. I think we end up losing that match because my teammates were just like, not the best, which, you know, it happens. First match of the day though, and the first match I played in like 3 days, so honestly I was pretty proud of myself that I got a nice little clutch up right there. Now this match, God, this dude with the bow is so annoying. He would just like fly around the corner and you can see I got an arrow sticking into my fucking left dimple there because this dude would just fly around, smack you with those little arrows. And I was like, you gotta get out of here, man. And my teammates and I, we lost the first round and we weren't feeling the best. We were a little just like, I don't know if we're gonna win here, but I was like, no, you know what? Let's turn it on real quick. Boom, take out one. Boom, take out two. Let myself start healing. We do have 100 recov, of course. Blink behind this guy, turn around, start saucing him with some nice shots. He tries to get away as best as he can, and I'm like, all right, shoot, let's just reload over here really quick. I didn't think he was gonna come this close. I saw him on the right side, on the under part, but I guess he started going in because he knew that my teammate was capping, so he wanted to stop that the best he can. I prefer not to cap when it comes up to the cap point at the end of a round. If I can, I'd always rather take the fight because it's just more exciting in my opinion. If it's like a 1v1, I think it's a little more fine to go for the cap point because it's like, you gotta do what you gotta do at that point. But if you're like a 3v1 and the cap point is there, in my recommendation, just go ahead, take the 3v1 because would you really rather just win by standing in a circle in a 3v1? Come on, just go for the fight. Just like this. You see, I get the nice heavy ammo there, and that's what you gotta love with that blink eager edge. I almost got screwed over because the second sword slash just like wasn't connecting on that guy, and I was like, Bungie, I swear if you actually sauce me in my cheeks right now, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna freaking lose it, I'll be honest with you. Now this guy doesn't die because Nova Warp has the range of a 5-year-old's pinky finger, so I didn't quite get to kill him, but I was able to fly up behind this guy and take him out some well-placed shots from my pulse rifle there. I gotta say, I don't usually like these aggressive frame pulse rifles, and Bungie made a lot of them this season. I think they made 2 or 3 of them this season, and it's something that I just don't really care for all that much. But on this one, I was liking it quite a bit. It just felt like the bullets were actually going where I was shooting, whereas with a lot of other pulse rifles, these slower shooting ones in these aggressive frames, I just feel like the bullets don't go where I'm shooting a lot of the time, and it can be quite a pain. Now you can see here we brought this up to a 2-2 match, so it was pretty darn close. Again, the cap point is here, and these enemies were scummy as all heck, so you know they were trying to stand in that circle. Unfortunately, they had feet of the size of the tiniest man in the world, so they couldn't quite stand in it well enough, and you know what they say about tiny feet? Yeah, those guys had tiny little scringuses on their bodies too. Me and my teammates go in, we end them off. Me and my teammate here were just saucing them up. He was like, oh baby, let me cook with you. I was like, I'll dip some freaking seasoning on there for you, brother. We were making a nice meal, and you can see we're flying up towards Plat 2 there pretty well. Of course, we ended off the last episode in Plat 3, so make sure you go back and check out that episode if you haven't seen that. Now here we have a Rift match, which of course you should know by now, Blink is beautiful for Rift. We already lost the first round because the enemies got the spark and my teammates were not looking at them, and I was like, what? Guys, I'm watching the outside of the map, you guys should be watching the inside. So they unfortunately scored, but I was like, you know what, no, we're gonna win, it's okay, let's take a breather, we got this. I scared that guy off with a nice clearance and scatternade, but I wanted to hold my right just in case he pushed back up while my teammates held the left. This guy started running around behind us, so I said, okay, screw it. If you're gonna go all the way around, I'm gonna join my teammates where the spark is, take out the enemies, and see if we can get a cap here. That's exactly what I do. I start grabbing the spark, and I said, you know what, screw it. I feel like I can kind of just force in here and maybe score. Some well-placed movements, some dashes, or I should say, some slides, excuse me. That's gonna get me perfectly around that corner. Straight into the rift with an easy cap. My teammate gets his head turned into an absolute goo pile there, but I rezzed him, pushed him out of the way, and he only got bodied by the next sniper shot there, so he was able to survive. Now, I do need to tell you guys something. It's kind of serious. I do actually have a disease. It's called big dickitis, and you can see it makes me do plays like this, where I absolutely just swing my penis in here and go for these crazy plays, and I gotta tell you, it really does work sometimes. I take out both those guys, I pop my rift, I grab clearance, and this guy right here, you know, he was just shooting down lane. I can't blame him. I'm going to go ahead, get with my teammates, and see how they want to push. Now, I took out the first 2 guys over there, and I grabbed the spark, and my teammate had some beautiful shots right here, and helped me get to a position where I could easily blink in and secure us that 2-2 round advantage. Well, that 2-2 tie, I should say. I'm just kind of saying words at this point sometimes. I hit a perfect blink right here so I could escape myself from a tricky situation, blink one more time, and immediately turn around. This spot that I'm re-challenging right here is a beautiful spot you can use to bait people in. You see right there, I blink through that doorway. He thinks he can just come around and chase me, but all I have to do is turn around and absolutely sauce his little head into the ground. I grab the spark, and I'm looking to get towards my teammates to see if we can push together. My first teammate dies, so immediately my instinct was to get back up there and see if I could res him while holding off the enemy. So that's exactly what I do. I spray down the lane here in case they re-challenge, but they don't, so I get a free res on my teammate. My teammates look like they want to drop, so that's what I'm going to follow them down to, and this guy hit some really sus shots this match with his Ariana's Vow, and that one, I gotta say, was added straight to the books. As soon as he shot me there, I was like, what? Are you kidding me? You whiff a shot at me coming out of my blink on the first time, but as soon as I exit the blink, you just hit me right in the head. Like, it was weird as heck, but hey, it didn't matter. Me and the teammates absolutely clutched it up, and you can see we are up into Plat 2 there. Now, the unfortunate thing is the next match I immediately fell back down because, well, that's just matchmaking. This first round was great. We were saucing these guys up. I guess that's just my word of the day, and honestly, I'm kind of vibing with it right now. I haven't even said the word bussy today, but I mean, I guess I did right there. You can see, me and my teammates, we're just going balls to the wall on these guys, absolutely smacking them down into the dirt, and you gotta really love it. When you get that nice momentum at the beginning of a round, it can really cement yourself to have a very nice match. Now, unfortunately, here's the thing. After this round, we lost the next one. And then one of my teammates left the match. I thought he rage quit. Apparently, I think my teammates were a 2-stack. That happens a lot this season because Bungie got rid of freelance because they smelled like an absolute rhinoceros asshole. Now, the thing is, I messaged my teammate. I was like, man, screw that guy. He just rage quit. And he was like, no, he actually just DC'd. And I was like, okay. Either way, it ended up costing us the match, I'm pretty sure. So I immediately fell back down. So I was like, it's a little frustrating, you know, because you're just like, man, we just sauced in that first round, and you think you can keep going. You know, I'm hitting nice plays like this, blinking in, smacking this guy. Try to do it again with a little blink Agar edge combo on this next guy, but instead of locking on it, just flew past him. So I said, screw it, I'll throw in the nade here, cut him off with that, and then flick to the other side with my submission here, and just rail his pussy cheeks. And that's exactly what I did. Sprayed him down, and took him out pretty easily. I blink in here for one more blink Agar edge combo, and unfortunately, no follow-up from my teammates is going to make sure that I die, and then we need to get that res. It was fine though. Hit some nice burst on this guy, which is going to secure us a 9-3 point value for the end of the round here, and clean up that round really nice. And at that point, I was like, okay, we can probably win this match, but unfortunately, you know, you can see rounds 1 at the top of the screen. We have round 1, and they have 2, because again, my teammate did leave the match. Whether he rage quit or not, it doesn't really matter to me, because either way, you know, we started losing, and it's unfortunate, but that's what happened. I got a good pick there, and I wanted to get a little more aggressive on these guys. Unfortunately, the uneven terrain on my feet was really throwing off my aim a little bit. I wish Bungie would kind of fix stuff like that. You know, you literally step on one pebble in this game. You know, you get one tiny rock caught in your shoe, and it just feels like you're stumbling over Mount Everest. And I'm like, dude, I'm just walking around, Bungie. I'm just walking around in the murky depths that you guys have placed on this map. Can I please just get away with that and actually shoot my enemy? But nope, they just can't do that. Luckily, I blinked to the side of this guy really well, hit some nice headshots, was able to take him out, so he did get my teammate, but it's okay, I got him right back. I blink behind this wall, immediately place a rift, and then blink backwards because it looks like he's going to rush me with a shotgun or something of the sorts. He did not, but I was able to spray him down and trade my teammate out. I wanted to res my teammate, but unfortunately I couldn't quite get it before this guy flew in, but with some well-placed shots and a nice melee, I was able to take him out and secure that as a 6-6 round right there. Unfortunately, one of my teammates dies, and we do lose that round, which loses us the match, but it was a good try, and we almost had a nice comeback on the match, even though our teammate left. Now, this is one of my favorite things to do on Endless Veil. Fly in, throw that scatter nade straight down lane, and then I like to follow it up as quickly as I can with some nice shots and just aggression. My teammate beautifully followed me up there with some shots of his own, and we just floor these guys immediately. You gotta love that when you can get it. Immediately 2 orbs of power, and you can see I'm already halfway 1 bar done, you know? And so I was getting a lot of Nova Warps today. I would say in 70 to 80% of my matches, I was getting my Nova Warp, and Thresh only gives you 1% of your super whenever you get a kill with it, right? So I have Thresh on my submission here. But like I was saying in the intro, I did notice that. You know, there was plenty of times where I noticed, okay, I'm fragging out with this Thresh on my submission right here. You can see a beautiful scatter nade there, secures the round for us. And when I was fragging out with that Thresh submission, I was definitely feeling like I was getting the value from it. You know, I was getting my Nova Warps a lot sooner, and that's a very nice thing, especially combined with how many orbs of power you are making in PvP this season. Because of the reworked armor mod system, you are going to be getting those roaming supers a lot more, and I'm excited to see what the super economy looks like in Trials when it starts this Friday. Now you can see here I was doing something which is a bit of a sneaky tactic I like to do. I like to crouch down in toilet bowl so I get off my enemy's radars, and then blink up on top of them and start taking them out. That guy had a stasis nade under my cheeks, so I blinked up above it so it wouldn't hit me, spray down the second guy, and luckily my teammate follows up and takes out the third guy. Unfortunately, I was knocked out, and then my teammates ate some absolute stinky asshole and lost the round, but it's just how it goes sometimes. Again, a beautiful nade right there. I have on a mod that lets me get an orb of power whenever I get a nade kill. I also have on a mod that lets me get an orb of power whenever I get a kill after I use my class ability. So those are the 2 ways that I have to make orbs of power. Now with scatter nades, you can get nade kills pretty frequently. So I was making orbs of power, honestly, at least 2 to 7 times a match, depending on how hard I was fragging out. Honestly, probably more than that. Some matches I would make around 9 to 10 orbs, because all I had to do was throw a rift down, go get a kill, boom, there's an orb of power. You can see I blink up behind this guy while he's not really looking, get some good shots on him, and blink around him really quickly, and then nice Bungie. Thanks a lot. You see what happened there was my Pocket Singularity just like hit his shield and did no damage. Like, look at this scoreboard too. I had to show this to you guys because it was just like, oh, that's one of those matches where it's just such a pain. You're like, why do I even try sometimes? Because you just do so good, and your teammates literally look like a fucking Clayface clone just got shoved onto your team, and you're like, I know you're not a real human being. I know Bungie secretly created a bunch of bots just to fill the matchmaking because nobody else wants to play this dog water game mode sometimes. So instead they just shove Jimmy Bob and Bimmy Bob on my team that are literally just AIs, and I have to suffer for it. But hey, whether that's truth or not, I don't know, but it's definitely something I would believe Bungie would do. Now I blinked back up onto this guy so I can try to get a little aggressive because I knew I really just wanted to win this match, so I said screw it. I know there's a guy behind me, but I'm going to blink up behind this guy and just try to do damage. Now I did enough damage and I killed this guy, so what I wanted to do was immediately turn around and try to get this guy and rely on my teammates to take out the last guy. After I killed this guy, I knew all I needed to do was full send my body in and just be a sacrifice. Whatever I had to do to get my teammate into that rift and score is what I did. I throw the scatter nade, I do some damage, but most importantly I distract those enemies and my boy scores. You should remember that scatter nade gives a good amount of screen flinch, so if you do throw it at your enemies, it's going to flinch their screen a bunch, it's going to shake their screen a bunch, and that really helps you go ahead and get your teammates in if you need something like that or to win a gunfight. I blink behind this guy, spray him down. Since I killed him when my shields are broken, I get a full void overshield, and I'm ready to go into the next fight, but I saw this rift was spawning here, so I go ahead and I grab that. 2 easy blinks is going to let me go straight around this corner, wrap my hitbox inside of that rift, and easily score. My teammates came around the corner and started dancing with me after that one because I was like, boys, that's why you give Papa Roger the rift if you can do it, or the spark I should say. I can never remember the names for this game mode because I just hate them so much. Like, here's the spark, here's the rift, but ooh, I can also place a rift because I'm a Warlock. Like, hey Bungie, is the creative team really lacking this much that we couldn't think of a better name for rift? We just named it after something that was already in the game. You could have called it SpongeBob's anus and it would have been a better fucking name than just calling it Rift again. We already have a... You know, I'm getting on this tangent and I get on it sometimes. Either way, this is the last match and you're going to see here after we win, I do fly back into Plat 2. So, we do actually end the match, in the video I should say, with some progress here. We fly back into Plat 2, so we did actually progress a little bit, and I just love to get that actual little progress going on. And actually have some fun with it too. I have some other raid weapons that I actually never tried, so I'm planning to try those. I got Deliverance from the Vow of the Disciple. Again, if you want to see that video and all the loot that I got in that video and just the fun time that I had with my friends clearing it, then go ahead and click that. It's going to be on the end screen in just a second, and like I said, I will have that in the top right as well. And also make sure in the top right that you click the Blinkville Discord server. It's a place where you can have any kind of Blink Warlock or Blink Hunter friends you want to meet, and go ahead and join up. I'd love to see you in there. Now at the end of the match here, you can see I was planning on picking up that spark, but I thought for a second, I said, hold on. I think a better idea for me would be to go ahead and just pop my Nova Warp, take out these enemies, and let myself get a path cleared for my teammates to go ahead and clear. So that's what I did. I took out 3 guys, and I immediately started flying forward, took out a 4th guy right here, and I was hoping that that was enough to clear a path for my teammate to score very easily, and that's exactly what happened. After that, like I said, we won the match. I wanted to smack this last guy because I was on a tearing frenzy after that. And there you go, you're going to see in the top right, we do fly back. Yeah, me and my, favorite composer, Bach, we fly back into Plat 2 right there. So I gotta say thank you guys so much for watching, and that is it for me today. So as always, have a great day, Guardians.